let's move on down to the public comments. Again, you're gonna stick to 3 minutes and you're gonna stick to, what's on the agenda. So let's have Dane Chisholm come up. He wants to speak about the airport. So Dane, you got 3 minutes, sir.
Hello. Before I talk about the airport, I want to cordially invite all of our commissioners and the mayor. We've partnered with a really cool organization called Tennessee Constitutional Grassroots Coalition. There's 13 counties in this region. It's a conservative constitutionalist group. They've got approximately 13,000 members spanning the region. We're holding the Freedom Fest. We've worked with them pretty closely. It's going to be a pretty cool event. People like Congressman Tim Burchett, several state reps, FBI whistleblower Steve Flynn, Joe Altman, and Hawkins County, Barry Engelberg, and Taylor will be there to speak. There'll be a band. There'll be a band there playing music for everybody. It'll be from like 12 to 8 on September 28th, 2024. So that'll be pretty cool.
Okay, I reset you 3 minutes, so you're going to the airport. Yes, sir.
As far as with the airport, we just had our meeting this week and we were kind of reviewing the resolution packet. And a lot of people were, I wouldn't say necessarily caught off guard, but they were kind of inquiring, what are we getting ready to enter into a 5-year contract for the airport when, I think it's been pretty obvious the majority of Hawkins County, like the vast majority, has been definitely not for the idea of putting a bunch of money into the airport. They haven't seen it pay itself off or at least break even. I know you guys are talking about this year that may have broken even. We've been waiting to see that. I think people are looking for you to provide credibility to the idea that we're going to commit to a big project at the airport when a bunch of people don't. I mean, it's a very, very small section of Hawkins County benefits from the airport, and a lot of people don't want anything to do with it. They definitely don't want to put a bunch of money into it. We just raised taxes because we didn't have enough money. So the idea that we're going to enter into a big contract and hire firms and architects and engineers kind of points to the idea that the commission, Hawkins County, is committing to like a big a money pool going into the airport. That may be wrong, but
Yeah.
that could be justified.
We can explain that when you're done.
Okay. So I think a lot of people, before it gets voted on, before we enter into a big contract, a 5-year contract, to really start committing to making moves at the airport, I think it would be appropriate really for, prove its profitability, guaranteed revenue, justify committing to it in the first place when so many people in Hawkins County. I don't know if I've ever heard not one person come up here pro airport. I've missed a meeting or two, but I mean, it's endlessly been people saying that they believe it's a hobby airport. It's not actually used by our factories and companies the way it said it's been used, or at least, fractionally compared to what you guys say it's been used for. I don't know I was just talking to my neighbor, he's like, I didn't even know we had an airport. It's like everybody I talk to, most people are like, we have no idea we have an airport. It's not applicable to everyday Hawkins County citizens. We don't want our money to be spent into something if it's not going to at least break even or provide some money back. I suppose, I'll wrap up with that, but I would just ask that somebody, before we enter into a contract, at least, so push this off, at least provide credibility or proof that it's going to make money, that it did break even this year, and justify why the commission has like a little kind of a project in their own head that the rest of Hawkins County is not, as far as I'm concerned, most people are not behind it. So please justify why you guys feel like it's appropriate for you guys to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Do you want to address the things? First of all, this particular resolution is going to be pulled for this month because we are negotiating prices with them, and we wanted to get it in place this month, but we didn't quite get enough negotiation done. So this resolution is going to be pulled tonight. But let me tell you what it's about. We've always had an airport engineering firm. For the last 5 years, it's been an engineering firm called Michael Baker. We don't pay them unless we have a project that's starting up. It's just a requirement that from the state that we get an engineer in place in case, you know, we get another grant for something. The engineers would have to deal with that first, and we don't pay them unless we have something going on. But we have to have a contract in place because our Michael Baker contract ended at the end of this month. So we're going to have one in place. We don't have a project except potentially hangars to make us money in place at this time. But so that means there's no rush to put them in place, but we have to get them on a 5-year contract. The question came up a few meetings ago, you know, why don't you bid out we had a drainage thing at the airport, why don't you bid it out? Well, we don't, because we're under contract with that engineering firm. And they present their qualifications. We go through a selection process. We don't know what the rates are at the time of the selection. So when they send us their rates, then I'm gonna negotiate. It's like Brack said, I'll knock them over the head a few times and get some more money down on their rates. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Do you have any questions on that, Dane? I mean,
No, that makes sense. I guess we had received the idea that we were getting this engineering firm because
right.
there were plans in place to
right.
start taking tax money.
If you ever have questions like that, call me, call your commissioner, call anybody. I mean, they'll be glad to talk to you, or they may pass you on me, you know, on stuff like this, or the airport committee or whatever. But we had a fairly tight selection process. Michael Baker was in that process. We felt like Hope Consulting had a better package for us, but we still have to negotiate rates. And it's not like we're shoveling money to them; they're not doing anything. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Would they handle the engineering? Would they handle the water issue that you're having with you did a survey a couple of months ago on the airport where y'all had the surveyor come out to look at the water drainage?
Yeah, that's no longer an issue. The growth, the vegetation has grown up, and it's not coming down through there as it was when it was just plain dirt. So we elected not to go ahead with that engineering project on that one because everybody's satisfied with it the way it is.
Okay, thank you.
All right?
Thank you for the update also.
Okay. Yeah, anytime you have a question on that, call. You know, I can explain it a whole lot better one-on-one than me to this whole group. So passes on to 2024-08-06, Commissioner Roach.
To the Honorable Mark DeWitt and members of the Hawkins County Board of Commissioners in regular session this 26th day of August 2024, resolution reference approval to accept a grant from the Tennessee Department of Transportation for maintenance at the Hawkins County Airport. Whereas the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation has offered Hawkins County a grant to provide assistance in the maintenance of the Hawkins County Airport, and whereas the state provides these grants on an annual basis and is attached to this resolution, and whereas the grant will be used as reimbursement for various maintenance projects at the airport, now therefore be it resolved that approval be given to accept said grant for Hawkins County Airport with authorization given to the county mayor to sign any and all necessary documents for said grant. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
All right, motion Commissioner Roach, second Commissioner Gillum. Any comments or questions? Thank you all.
Is that grant something we got to match, or is that just free money?
It's free money. They put $15,000 out there to, if we have to repair a bathroom or, you know, do maintenance on the door or whatever, we can get that money back from them just by requesting it.
With no timelines of having anything?
Through the year. Any other questions? Yes, sir?
Not really a question, just a comment on this. I didn't raise it earlier when we were talking about the airport, but I'd like to just make one suggestion.
Could you speak up just a little bit?
Yes, yes. I'd just like to make a suggestion pertinent to the airport operations. The thing that we talked about early on, the issue came up of coming up with kind of a long-term plan for how we operate in this airport in order to hopefully come out, you know, at least net zero, if not making a little money on the thing. We happen to have a person in this county, moved here just a few years ago. It happens to be a neighbor pretty close to me. His occupation is running around the mostly small airports and fixed-based operators at small airports, and working with them as a consultant to figure out how they can make their operations efficient and make money. And he's a really smart guy, and I'm sure he'd be glad to sit down with the airport committee and discuss what he might be able to help with. And I'd be glad to provide his name and phone number if somebody.
Yeah, we'd like to have that, Mr. Parker. A lot of the planning is done at the state level, TDOT, their aeronautical division. We have a airport improvement plan that's always in place that rolls out several years in advance, what we can do this year, next year, so forth. I think it's out to 2030 at this point, but his input would be appreciated if he wants to come to the airport.
I think, you know, what he's really looking at, what he does when he works with the airports is, he looks at what their operations are now and gives them suggestions on, you know, how they might be able to make them operate more efficiently.
We'd like to talk to
In
him.
terms of,
We'd like to talk to him. Thanks.
When is that meeting?
When is what?
When is that airport committee meeting?
It's not a regular basis for that, we just meet on as
As
needed.
needed.
So if you get your email to him, he'll be able to get that information to you.
Okay.
Are you the chair, Nancy?
Yes, I am.
I'll send you that information.
Thank you.
All right. No other questions? Let's go ahead and vote.
Yes, 1 no.
All right, resolution passes. 2024-08-07, Commissioner Barker, do you want to go ahead and officially pull that?
Yes, we're gonna, we're gonna pull that resolution, to negotiate the fees for, and hopefully have something back next month.
Yeah.